Hello and welcome back to Shelf Center. This is Bryce. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for liking and subscribing. If this is something you end up enjoying, you never know, it could happen. Well, it's that time of the week. It's my weekly installment, because I've been actually good about it and have done it weekly, of news related to science fiction, fantasy, sometimes horror, mostly as it relates to books, but also media. And definitely it's a heavy book installment this time. So let's just jump right into it. First things first, Brandon Sanderson just announced that he has been working on a new non-Cosmere novella. So I think that's pretty cool. He posted that he's about 50% through. And it's essentially, he's been trying to like collect all of his non-Cosmere stuff into kind of one volume, but needed something to kind of like tie it together, something kind of big to kind of draw people in, because it can't just be a collection of all the things that exist. I'm sure he could actually, to be honest, but so something new to kind of draw everybody into getting this new volume of, again, non-Cosmere related kind of short stories, novellas, those kinds of things. So pretty cool. Then some news, because I think we've been all awaiting this, and there's been some teasing going on at Tor, but I thought it was pretty cool that he clarified this, so I appreciate Sanderson doing that. The Wind and Truth, that's Wind and Truth, sorry, not The Wind and Truth, who says that? Stormlight Archive number 5, coming out this December. It seems to all be on track. We've been teased a cover, and it's kind of this blurry image. There's been people having fun with it, which I love. It's great times. But essentially, we're all waiting. What's going to be the new Michael Whalen cover? I mean, it's like one of the best of all time as far as cover artists we have on this series. So it keeps being teased. I wouldn't put it past, like, anyone these days. I would never do it, of course, but to tease something or to play around with everybody's feelings as they do. But instead, it actually is, they were, I think, going to post it. It had been finished. It was done. And then Michael Whalen himself, just epic artist of awesome, he said, hey, can I take a step back, and I just want to do some more revisions, some more changes. So he's going to make it perfect. And of course they're going, it's the legendary Michael Whalen. What are we going to do? Let's say you take the time you need. So I thought that was cool. At least it's not, what it usually is these days, which is everybody just teasing as much as possible and not giving actual substance. But there's a reason, so I really appreciated that. That was nice. Then we've got, in book news, we've got a new Guy Gavriel Kay. I just read The Lions of Al-Rassan, and it was excellent. So this is great news. Guy Gavriel Kay is coming out with a new book next year. It looks like it's going to follow. He kind of does, this is like Spain, his book about like a medievalish Spain. Again, kind of tracking history there, but obviously set in his own fantasy world and all that. Same kind of concept here, but for medieval France, apparently. And it's called Written on the Dark. And we even got a publication date of May 25th, 2025, so it will be coming out, looks like, next year. Very cool news. He's still killing it as far as I know. I have only read 2 books. They've been excellent, and I've loved them. So I need to get back on catching up on my Guy Gavriel Kay, because I think it's like 10 books so far that he's published. Here's another one. Can't wait. All right, then there's, in cash grab news, there's yet another, it's a book of poems this time, J.R.R. Tolkien. There, is whatever they can milk, apparently they'll milk. And I know people, fans, all appreciate this, and to varying degrees, of course, but it is pretty cool. But I can't imagine, I'm like, not that this would ever be my problem, but if someone would just started going through like all my notes on my phone, they'd be like, really, this guy's crazy. Like, I feel like, when are we going to get to his shopping lists? That's the next step. We're going to get the published book of Tolkien shopping lists. Because he had to eat, right? And I assume there's going to be a lot of tea on there. It seems crazy to me, but anyway, another 72 poems, I guess, is what it is. And I know there's a fan base for that. It's probably not me. I get it. I used to be a poem skipper in The Lord of the Rings. I now actually enjoy them and love them to some degree, depending. But I definitely no longer because I've always been a completionist. I wanted to skip but didn't skip, and then I don't know why I said I skip them, but I never enjoyed them, that's for sure, until like the third read through. We've got a slew of cover reveals, which are just great. I love these. Jeff Brown is an artist that has just been killing it lately. I keep featuring him because these look amazing. Look at this Dragonbone chair. I mean, come on, look at that. Then he's also got the 3-body problem. It's so vibrant. It's like there's so much just mystery to it, and they're just so well done and beautiful. You could put these on your wall easily. I just love them all. Then there's a new, yet another version. The Sword of Kaigen gets a new one. I like their last special edition a lot. It's really cool looking. Definitely expensive, you know, on the more payment for it side of things. This one looks great. I love the colors on it. It does seem very to represent the source material, so it looks good. Art by Tom Gillison, and I apologize if that's wrong. But also, so it's kind of getting combined. They're both getting published through Wraithmarked, and they're combining for a Kickstarter with the Where Loyalties Lie by Rob J. Hayes, which also, it's a pretty cool looking cover here. Nautical themed, it looks like. Very cool looking, like, I mean, just kind of makes me think of the ropes that are kind of like going through it. Is that a hatchet in his hand? It looks so cool. So I don't know. I think it looks pretty cool and makes me definitely want to check this out because I've never read any Rob J. Hayes. I own like probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 of his books. I should get on that because, you know, I'm always happy to help independent publishers. Independent publishing, especially, he's a big name in that. So anyway, I think that's pretty cool. Then, speaking of cover news, again, yet another one. This is by Andrew Givler, Death Tax, and this is number 4 in the Debt Collection series. I read book 1 not too long ago. Was it earlier this year or last year? Anyway, it was excellent. It was very, very well done. Urban fantasy that's just, you know, the easy one to compare it to is Dresden Files, just because it deals with a lot of kind of similar things, but probably more in the like hell creatures and stuff like that arena, which of course that's what it's all about, is like a demon like forges a contract with a mortal and he's got to deal with it. And so it's really a fun, like whip cracky kind of fun repartee kind of book. It's really a blast. So I'm excited to see that. And if you, well, first of all, the artist is Chris McGrath. Chris McGrath kills it, and especially in this one. Look at that scythe. I mean, that's so cool. And there's just lots of cool stuff going on, and I'm a big fan. But even cool, like also cool is Andrew Givler, who is also known as Sigils on the Tubes of You. So if you know me, you probably know him much easier. But I know my son absolutely adores him and loves his channel. Lots of good gaming stuff. So, but also an author and a very well accomplished one because I had a blast with his book. All right, then in other news, I thought this was pretty cool. And partially because I like literally pretty recently got me a copy of Galaxy, science fiction from March 1956. I did not pay 35 cents for it, but it did have a book by Frederick Pohl, and I had just been reading Gateway this last month, and it was excellent. And so I thought I'd grab this. Again, it just happened to it in the news. I just kind of was reading through, and I was like, I should feature that. Galaxy, this, same kind of thing. The magazine of science fiction is getting revived, and it's for this month of August, so you can still get a copy. It looks really cool. The artwork's great. It's 78 pages long, which is probably about as long as this is. This is over 130, so anyway. But essentially the news that I read was just modernizing it, getting it out there for, you know, modern audience, so it's gonna look like a print version and ebook kind of version. And I just, in kind of perusing some of the names, I did see Christopher Rocchio involved, Gareth L. Powell, so some prominent names in science fiction. So very cool. I think that's awesome. And there's just sometimes you just need a good short story. And I think a magazine, this one's like 10 bucks, is worth kind of like getting some of your short stories like out of your system. It kind of like, you know, it's just a good way of just kind of one and you're done and you in and out, and some just pack such a punch. I've read some of the best stories I've ever read as a short story or novella, and but also some of the worst and most boring. So, you know, you get what it's, your mileage may vary, but there's some really good stuff out there. All right, and then in media news, let's jump into the media. The War of the Rohirrim got a trailer, so essentially an anime kind of style Lord of the Rings set 250 years before the events of the Lord of the Rings. And again, kind of centering around, I think it was the 9th king of Rohan. Looks pretty cool, I have to say. I'm a sucker for trailers though, so don't always trust me on those things. I I thought it was interesting how they introduced it, because they go like the live action Lord of the Rings, kind of like, okay, we got to bring you in. We haven't really done it this way before, so it's still related to that. I just thought it was interesting, and it made sense. At the same time, it does kind of like, I don't know, it threw me off, and it was just kind of like, this is selling. I don't know. I struggle with the Lord of the Rings, because after The Hobbit, when they just milked the crap out of that one short book, and then the Rings of Power, and they've now milked the crap out of a couple pages of an appendix. And so I'm hoping this is better, and it looks great. Looks can be deceiving. I don't, especially when they're pulling it in and trying to really like sell you, like, see, it's the thing you like, right? It's still this is the thing you like. I don't know. I just start getting, we'll see and we'll hope. And I'm too jaded and cynical these days, so I'm sorry for that. But I just, when you start doing this kind of marketing, I'm like, ugh. And then Peter Jackson attached, honestly means very little to me anymore, sadly. So anyway, having said all that, I do think it looks good, and I will watch it. And I am actually very much looking forward to watching it. Then the last media news, I thought this was cool. Just saw it. Daniel Green pointed this out. Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman it's got option for film, and so we might be seeing a film here. Looks cool. It seemed to be Seth MacFarlane related, and which your mileage may vary on that one, but. I've enjoyed a healthy amount, I think, from him. But it seems to be the right person for Dungeon Crawler Carl. I haven't read it, but it seems to be that kind of, as far as I can tell, similar type of humor. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. I like, I think, it's been our little secret about lit RPG and these kind of dungeon crawler type books instead of just video games. And it'd be cool if the whole world saw how cool this is, and but it is, I'm always happy to see. I'm never gonna gatekeep or anything like that. I just like having lots of cool things to introduce people to, and then you take it away from me, and I'm like, what is my purpose? Okay. So anyway, that's been the news. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.